everybody, and welcome to today's video. And in today's video, I'll be doing a 2024 election prediction between Joe Biden and Kevin McCarthy. I'm going to start by labeling all of Biden's safe states: Washington, Oregon, California, Hawaii, Colorado. Colorado is going to be safe. McCarthy doesn't have the support among Hispanic and Latino voters, and the suburbs are going to continue to shift to the left regardless of who the GOP nominee is, unless it's someone. Even Romney, the suburbs are probably going to continue to shift to the left. Well, maybe not, just considering how insanely bad Trump was in the suburbs. But they're going to continue to shift to the left. For Biden's likely states, he's going to go get New Mexico, Virginia, New Hampshire, Maine at large, Nebraska second, and Minnesota. New Mexico, McCarthy doesn't have the support with the working class, with oil workers, and Biden is going to have enough support with Hispanic and Latino voters, and he's easily not the best nominee the Democrats could run for Hispanic and Latino voters, but he's going to be strong enough to be able to carry it like it's not going to be close to being lean. In Virginia, Biden's going to be strong enough in the D.C. suburbs, so as McCarthy won't be able to get enough rural turnout. And McCarthy is probably worse for black voters than Trump is. So there's that. In New Hampshire, McCarthy's probably going to do slightly better with white rural college-educated voters, so it'll still probably be like D+6. Maine at large, very similar thing, except for instead of D+6, probably more like D+8. Although I could see McCarthy getting less turnout in the 2nd district and Biden doing better, which could honestly get it to Biden by like 11 maybe. Minnesota, McCarthy doesn't have the support with the working class. He's not going to be great in the Minneapolis area. Nebraska second. Biden, McCarthy once again is not great for the suburbs. They're going to continue to shift to the left. So he won't be able to do amazing. He won't do great there. These are all of McCarthy's likely states. Nebraska's first, Kansas, Missouri, Indiana, South Carolina, and Alaska. So in Nebraska's first, Biden's fairly strong for the suburbs. The suburbs are going to continue to shift to the left, and it'll shift the district to the left. In Kansas, it was likely in 2020 the Kansas City suburbs are going to continue to push it to the left. And McCarthy does not have the support, or won't have as much support from rural voters as Trump did, which will keep it likely. Missouri, McCarthy's just not going to be able to have the support from white rural farmers. Indiana, McCarthy doesn't have the strength with the working class. South Carolina, McCarthy's not great with black voters. You don't have a whole lot of white rural turnout. Alaska, we're going to see more and more Native American voters turn out, which is going to hurt McCarthy, or hurt the GOP. But we're also going to see Biden probably do fairly well with oil workers. He's not great for the working class. He's one of the best establishmentarians with the working class. I would say maybe the best establishment candidate. Unless you consider like Trump the establishment. He's in terms of candidate types, Biden's a bit weird because he's populist, but he's more establishmentarian. I've seen I've seen conservatives say Trump was a establishmentarian, which is strange, or something like that. It was something like that, which is strange to me. That people would think that Trump is establishmentarian if they support him. Because generally a lot of these Trump supporters tend to see him as, in this Trumpist wing of the GOP, as populist, whereas a lot of Democrats, it's weird, because a lot of it's very strange, because it seems like the party's base tend to support people who are bad in areas that they're losing, but good in areas that they're gaining. The Democrats tend to like to nominate, they seem to like Democratic voters, not all Democratic voters, because there's the Bernie AOC wing of the party, which consider themselves populist. But a lot of these Democrats tend to like to nominate establishmentarian candidates. Clinton, Biden, Harris is probably going to be their nominee in 2024. Yet the GOP, again, that's going to help them do well in the suburbs, but not do well with the working class. Yet the GOP, they seem to like to nominate populists like Trump. Once again, I've seen conservatives saying that Trump wasn't populist. I don't know. It's confusing, but people that generally, I would say that Trump is a populist style of candidate. He has a populist messaging. So yeah, it's very strange that it almost seems like the voters, even I don't even know if how many voters are electorally um involved, I guess, or electorally aware. But for whatever reason, um a lot of a lot of voters tend to vote like that. It's very strange. Anyways, I'm not certain where it was. I think I was talking about Alaska. But for Biden's lean states, he's going to go with Nevada, the entire Rust, or this area of the Rust Belt, and that is it. Whereas McCarthy gets Texas, Iowa, Ohio, Florida, and Maine second. So in um Nevada, McCarthy is not going to be able to get the same rural turnout that Trump did, and Biden's going to do better with Hispanic and Latino voters. Across the entire Rust Belt, Biden's going to do pretty well with black voters, even if there's not as much anti-McCarthy turnout as anti-Trump turnout. Um, we're probably going to see less turnout as a whole across the Rust Belt, and McCarthy is probably worse with black. Well, actually, I don't know. McCarthy's just not a great candidate overall. But Biden's pretty strong with the black vote, and Biden's going to do well with the working class, whereas McCarthy will. He has a little bit of appeal, but it's not going to be enough to actually win any of these three. Unless he's against, like, Kamala Harris or AOC or something. Honestly, against Kamala Harris, he would still maybe lose them. Against, like, a really bad working class candidate, he could maybe carry some of them. Probably Wisconsin against a really bad candidate. Maybe Pennsylvania. Maybe Michigan. Anyways, Texas. McCarthy's not going to get the same rural turnout. Biden, we're going to see Hispanic and Latino voters probably shift back to Biden. And we're going to see the suburbs continue to shift to the left. We're going to see Biden do well in a lot of these cities, in the cities areas, like the Dallas area and the Houston area, which are going to continue to shift to the left. In Iowa, like McCarthy, I think they have this Republican lean, and where Biden's a pretty good candidate. McCarthy's going to be able to retain enough Trump rural turnout. In Ohio, it's the same thing except for with rural turnout and with the working class. Maine second, very similar thing. He has enough populist messaging to retain enough turnout. In Florida, he has the ability to win. I think he has the ability to win in suburbs. Before 2020, the GOP typically, they didn't win it. Well, it tended to vote, with the incumbent. I'm trying to think. When was the last election it voted wrong? Other than 2020. I'm not actually certain. Not 2016. I'm not even certain the last time other than 2020 that Florida voted wrong, because dang, I feel like it's been a bit of a bellwether. But regardless, it's been a narrowly GOP state. McCarthy, it seems like moderates, although DeSantis and Trump did really well. But I think that McCarthy has enough appeal in the suburbs to be able to hang on to like 1.5%. For Biden's tilt states, he gets Arizona and Georgia. McCarthy will get North Carolina. So in Arizona, McCarthy I think is better in the suburbs. Trump doesn't have. McCarthy has more appeal to traditional conservatives, and I could even see it going to McCarthy. I don't see him getting enough support, and I don't see him doing well enough with Hispanic and Latino voters. Georgia, McCarthy is pretty weak at the black vote. He's not going to get a whole lot of rural turnout. He's not going to do very well in the suburbs. Honestly, actually, it's better characterized as lean. North Carolina, I don't know if Biden's the best candidate for the Democrats in North Carolina. Cherry Beasley is a good nominee. I'm trying to think of who would actually be a strong candidate. You need a rare blend in Georgia. It would be North Carolina. It's weird to be able to do well with all these demographics, but essentially, I don't see McCarthy. I don't see him getting a whole lot of rural turnout. I see Biden shifting the suburbs to the left. I see him being pretty strong with the black vote. I see McCarthy. Honestly, it could go to Biden. I don't see him being strong enough with the black vote, and I don't see him shifting the suburbs enough. I think that you would need a candidate that's really good with the black vote to be able to flip North Carolina, just because of how much more skewed to the left it is than in a lot of other states. which would hurt the which obviously is going to hurt the GOP, but it doesn't leave a whole lot of room to grow for the Democrats, especially considering the fact that black voters already turn out at a really high rate for Democrats um, in North Carolina. So I feel like they would need to do really well in the suburbs, or run a candidate who's really strong with the black vote, someone like Sherry Beasley. But you would need to also do well in the suburbs as well as with the black vote and have enough support with the working class, which is why Cherry Beasley is such a good nominee. I could see Stacey Abrams being pretty good in the suburbs and pretty good at the black, or very good at the black vote. I don't see her getting a whole lot of working class appeal though. Biden, I guess, is like the average. He has enough. He has a little bit of working class appeal. Pretty good suburban appeal, pretty decent black appeal. But I think you need like an incredibly good candidate for the black vote, not just someone that's good like Biden or Hillary, someone really good. Which I mean, like Biden is not even against Kevin McCarthy. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like below. Stay tuned for my next video tomorrow. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.